If the world ends, most of us picture a sudden flash of light. A nuclear exchange takes exactly 72 minutes from the first launch to the start of a radioactive winter. But the highly classified reality inside the Pentagon is much faster. In the event of a biological outbreak, society has just 6 days before the infrastructure of the modern world collapses into total anarchy. Nuclear war is a physical event. It destroys buildings and bridges instantly. A biological weapon is a social event. It utilizes our basic human connections as the mechanism for its spread. You don't need ICBMs, hardened silos, or deep-sea submarines to launch this. The most effective delivery system on the planet is simply the human lungs. By turning our social instincts into a delivery system, these weapons ensure our own behavior becomes the primary architect of our destruction. Imagine a man in a crowded Frankfurt nightclub. He's energetic, sweating, and exhaling heavily into a room packed with hundreds of people. He is infected with pneumonic plague. Normally, this bacteria rapidly incapacitates the host, forcing them into bed. Without immediate antibiotics, the mortality rate is a statistical certainty, 100%. But during the Cold War, Soviet scientists found a way to change that behavior. They successfully edited the plague pathogen to include a specific gene for euphoria. Artificially flooding the brain with euphoria overrides the body's biological signal to rest. It keeps the infected host social and energetic exactly when they are most contagious. This genetic edit converts a dying patient into a mobile biological delivery mechanism, capable of spreading the pathogen across a city before they even realize they are sick. This is the dark side of gain-of-function research.
While scientists use these techniques to understand how diseases evolve and how to build vaccines, bad actors use the exact same tools to make pathogens more virulent. In 1972, the world signed a treaty to ban these weapons, but the Soviet Union secretly built Biopreparat, a massive biological warfare program that engineered new pathogens under the guise of legitimate medical research. One of their innovations was a booby-trapped version of the plague, specifically engineered to counter standard Western medical treatments. The scientists modified the bacteria so that if a patient took the required antibiotic, the drug itself would trigger a secondary fatal disease, like encephalitis, which causes the brain to swell until the host dies. These weapons were designed to destroy public trust in government-issued medicine, ensuring that the fear of the treatment would be just as lethal as the disease itself. The threat became a modern reality in the weeks following 9/11, when envelopes containing weaponized anthrax spores were mailed to U.S. targets, triggering a global buildup of biodefense labs. Before 2001, the U.S. had only 2 high-containment BSL-4 labs. Today, there are over 110 globally. Below that tier, there are more than 3,500 BSL-3 labs. Over 91% operate without standardized safety oversight. Modern AI systems have further lowered the barrier to entry. Computational models can now assist in synthesizing pathogens, allowing rogue actors to bypass traditional scientific expertise and order genetic components directly from commercial suppliers. Humanity is now surrounded by a globally distributed, under-regulated machine capable of sparking an extinction-level event through malicious intent or a simple laboratory accident. When our euphoric patient zero boards a commercial flight with 400 other people, he seals the fate of the global healthcare system. Once that plane lands and those passengers unknowingly disperse into a major city, localized containment becomes a mathematical impossibility. The United States has only 100 special pathogen beds for a population of 340 million. If a super spreader event occurs, the medical infrastructure is overwhelmed in less than 24 hours. When medical help becomes a mathematical impossibility, fear for survival overrides the social contract. Families fighting over a finite supply of antibiotics triggers a rapid descent into anarchy that outpaces the spread of the disease itself. Preventing this scenario requires immediate international diplomacy and a shift in how we regulate biotechnology. Unlike a natural disaster, a biological catastrophe is entirely human-made. Because we are the cause, we are also the only ones capable of implementing the solution. We need to demand international weapons inspections, establish extreme transparency for every biolab on the planet, and depoliticize the reporting of public health threats. We must apply immense public pressure to regulate this invisible arms race today, before humanity accidentally engineers its own end.